Hello, this is One Black British Woman's Voice. I want to ramble incoherently about the subject, which is Grenfell. When I say ramble incoherently, unlike many other people out there, I don't have smart recording equipment, I don't have smart editing equipment, and even if there was smart editing equipment available, I wouldn't know how to use it. So bear with me, because I might just go up and down and change direction, but essentially my feelings are still the same about this subject. There's a police car outside. Yay, whatever. It's been recently published that maybe 74, 76, 80 people died in the Grenfell Tower inferno. And if there's anyone from overseas who's watching this and doesn't know what I'm talking about, Grenfell was a huge tower block which should have had a good fire system, like hose sprinklers, etc., but it didn't. Instead, the building had actually been clad in some kind of cladding that made the building look attractive, but was, in terms of, it wasn't fireproof. It lit up like a match. And so when a fridge exploded, setting fire to one flat, the fire, which normally should have been contained within one flat, if it had been a good building architecturally, the fire would have been contained in one flat. In fact, actually spread throughout the entire tower block, because the tower block was clad in all this flammable cladding that was a cosmetic use to make the building look pretty, so that more hipsters would move into the area. Anyway, so reports have come out that approximately 76, 77, 80 people had died in the fire. If you think I believe that figure, if you think anyone believes that figure, God play to you, PR machine. I mean, if you think anyone's thinking to themselves that only 80 people died in that inferno, then I'm sure there's that one village idiot that will agree with you. However, the majority of people, normal thinking people, will concur that that is a bullshit figure. One of the other things which has been done in order to lower the figure has been to say that anyone that jumped out of the tower in order to save their lives, that would be classed as a suicide. So giving the government carte blanche to reduce the figure even further, so that they could say, well, they weren't incinerated, or they didn't die from smoke inhalation, they jumped out of the building, which is suicide. It beggars belief that even after all of this, reports have been coming out, computer equipment has been confiscated because the Kensington Council, have been viewed as culpable in some way for cladding this building in this flammable material. So computers have been taken, and an investigation is going to happen, and if charges erupt from this, then wow, hallelujah. But at some point, someone within the council said, it is acceptable to me that we should spend a few £1,000s on making this building look pretty for hipsters, and if there's a fire, well, I'm not going to think that far. Somewhere along the line, someone had the mentality that lives did not matter, but that currency did. Currency and hipsters did. And in order to continually mitigate their culpability, they are now giving us figures of 70 or so people dying, and they're telling us that some of them were suicides. And seriously, in what planet is someone believing that figure? The head of the council has stepped down. No doubt he'll find himself a job somewhere, because someone's always looking out for someone like that. But I just cannot fathom why they think they can give us this death toll figure and believe that we'll accept it. I just keep coming back to that main point. Who do you think you are kidding? In some kind of, in order to, in some way to, I don't even want to use these words. Basically, after the fire, the council then bought themselves some £1 million flats, as if that's going to make any difference. But throughout this furore, I have never ever felt that anyone was truly sorry. I've always felt as if it was a clean-up operation. But I've never ever felt that anyone has been truly sorry for what happened. And I've been watching testimonies of, there was one man and his entire family had been killed in this fire, and the mother said she could see the flames, and then she said to the son, "Look, son, if I've said anything to you or ever hurt you, I'm sorry." And then she perished along with I think her daughter and 2 other sons and her husband. People clambering down the stairs in order to escape the smoke and the fire said they were stepping on soft squishy things, but they thought that they might be hose pipes or tubes or water hoses. And then it transpired that it was bodies. And yet, throughout all of this horror, you have the press trying to tell us, and government authorities trying to tell us, that 76, 80 people died in this? Really? Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Anyway, like I said, there's no real coherence to this. It was just my thoughts and feelings on this. We are honor bound to remember this and not to in any way give the governing bodies carte blanche or jurisdiction or any leeway to mitigate what role they played into this. At one stage, or very soon after the fire, the Daily Mail published the picture of the Somali gentleman whose fridge apparently blew up and was the ignition for the fire that then spread across the whole building. And they placed this picture on the front of the newspaper. I said, this is the man that killed all these people. And they managed to somehow acquire pictures of the Somali man drinking a beer. They managed to basically procure pictures making him look as leisurely as possible, as if, well, my life was great and that his plan from day one was to kill a few hundred people. So even as soon as then, I mean, within like a week of the fire, you had the media scapegoating a person. But we as a society, we as human beings cannot forget what happened. And we cannot forget how it happened. And we cannot forget why it happened. So press, media, whoever, please take your approximate numbers of deaths and shove it. No one believes it. After all, as Stormy said so eloquent, you're all pagans anyway. I'm out.